Welcome to World of Concrete 2022. I'm Jared Wheeler with American Construction Supply, and this is Payson Titcomb with Steel Dog. And we're here at the Steel Dog booth here at World of Concrete. So we've asked Payson if you'd kind of go through your booth and just show us the Steel Dog products and just get everybody familiar with these, back at home.
We've got kind of a variety of product lines. So I can start with, I guess, our form system.
Yeah, let's start with,
that. So we make, it's an 1.1 modular form system.
Okay.
Primarily for residential work. That's its biggest market, but definitely commercial applications too. I would say it's the quickest modular form system available, the 1.1 system. It really is comprised of 2-foot panels and then an array of fillers, and any height from 4 foot all the way up to 10 foot. I think out in your guys' area, it's primarily 9 foot. That's generally what's available there. It's really, like I said, speed is the name of the game with 1.1. I can show you a little bit about how those forms latch
let's
together.
go this way.
So the key to the 1.1 system is the fact that the hardware is attached. Why that's unique is if you have like a steel frame form or an aluminum form, you've got loose components to join the forms together and to catch the ties. With 1.1 forms, it's all attached. So this latch here swings over, it grabs a panel or a corner, and it catches the tie in the same motion. Okay. Then the ties themselves are low cost and easy to break off. So you snap the tie when you go to strip, and then you hit it with a hammer to break it off. The whole system's designed.
So unlike other systems where they have to use locking pins or other things like that, we don't have to use that with this system, right?
Exactly, yeah. You're not carrying around loose hardware. And I mean, that's great because you're not gonna lose it, which guys complain about, but also speed. I mean, with pins, you got two things that you gotta slide through. With this, you're flipping a latch. It's very, very quick. Also, hardware for this system. Not much is required to set up a basic foundation. You just really need the attached hardware and sometimes a Waler like this to straighten it. For the most part, that's all you need. There's not like lots of little accessories that are required for a standard foundation. But we do offer a huge array of accessories for all different types of forming situations. So it's a very complete system.
And then talk to us about scaffold brackets.
Yeah,
our walking planks.
These are what would be sort of considered an OSHA compliant scaffold bracket. It's for 2x12s and it has a pocket for a handrail. Yeah, those are great. I mean, if you're doing particularly commercial work with this system, that's definitely going to be something you want.
You don't have to go with that big of a scaffold bracket.
There's also other, I mean, these are technically called Waler brackets. This is something with Steel Dog, we do try and simplify stuff and make it really durable. This bracket in particular is made out of a single piece of steel with one weld point. That's a great design for particularly something you walk on periodically, is that there's not a lot of weld connections, and this is just a really, really durable bracket. Other neat things, curved wall clips. One of the limitations to the 1.1 system is that, unlike like a steel ply system where it's actually meant to do radius walls, this system wasn't really intended for that. But we do have these clips that'll allow you to do a radius wall. Basically, you don't use your latches.
So just another versatile way to utilize your 1.1 system that you already have.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing that a lot more with architects, building in fancy stuff into residential houses.
Let's talk about turnbuckle braces on the 1.1 system.
Yeah, you guys actually have got what we really like with turnbuckle braces. We make a special pipe brace for you guys. Great system, we love it. We're not showing it here, but basically, this is just a turnbuckle brace for straightening your wall. What we're showing here is you can use just, with a basic brace, a piece of lumber
2x4.
to nail on. Yeah. With your pipe brace version, you guys got like a 10-foot pipe brace. You can stake that right down to the wall. And then the beauty with these is that you can push and pull your wall all from one side. Contractors who just use 2x4s to straighten their walls,
you can only push.
Exactly. Yeah, with this turnbuckle brace, it latches right onto the bolt. And you can push and pull. It's a great system. These are custom filler bars, and this is a great piece of hardware to have in your system. If you have a fractional wall section, instead of getting a custom filler, which you can order from us, but it takes a long time to get out there, it's expensive. With these custom filler bars, you can make up any size filler you want with 3/4 inch plywood. That's a really great tool to have. The other nice thing about it is if you've got pass-throughs like we're showing here, areas where maybe rebar has to stick out or you've got to put the sewer pipe in. You don't want to sacrifice that on an expensive form panel. Right. This you can just blow through it, no cost really. Lastly on these, the latch hardware, you'll see these extrusions. The latch hardware slides on these. Now that's great for this setup we got here where you got to step up in your wall. When that happens, inevitably your bars get misaligned. With these, you can accommodate for that by just loosening this bolt and sliding the latch hardware up and down. So now you've transitioned this step up with a latch connection. Before that, what people would do is sort of just scab this together with wood. And
because they're not lining up here and here, right?
Exactly, yeah. That's a lot of the inch and an eighth stuff. Do you want to bounce over a couple of the steel ply things? The Stayform mesh it's a disposable form system. They call it Stayform because it stays in place in the wall after you pour. Any place where you've got a forming situation where you can't put two sets of your reusable formwork. Where we commonly saw it used was like in city environments where they've got to pour a wall right up against an existing wall, but they can't touch it. So you can't pour against that wall, you just have to go close to it. This material will, you can tie into it with our ties and pour a wall like you would, with regular two-sided formwork, and then it's just disposable, stays in place.
So you can use the inch and an eighth system, or you can use the steel ply system with it.
Exactly. That's what we've sort of come up with to use alongside Stayform is these, we call them transition ties. And like you pointed out, this is basically a regular inch and an eighth tie that we've transitioned to accept 1/2 inch coil rod. The beauty of that is once you've got 1/2 inch coil rod, there's all types of different connections you can make.
Plug and play.
Exactly, yeah. You can then cut that coil rod to whatever size you need.
Custom make your ties basically from there.
Exactly, it's a universal connector. And we do that same tie in 5 different variations for job billet, like you pointed out, or steel ply. Then we make this other connector that allows you to tie onto that Stayform. So these are rebar hooks. That rebar is backing this Stayform material. You tie onto it with one of these hooks, and now it's essentially a two-sided form system. For you guys out there, where I would imagine you'd see it is, let's say you've got like lava rock or some embankment that you need to pour up against, you couldn't excavate out all the way.
And in urban environments, things like that, where you're coming up against an existing structure, one of the things that we love about this is that it lowers the barrier to entry to be able to do single-sided stuff, right? Yeah. So, if we're using one of our forming systems and then having to run backbone or something else like that off of it, this is significantly less expensive than having all the backbone bracing, all the anchors that are going into the footings, all the additional hardware space that's taken up from it. So this is really a great solution for a lot of things. I mean, obviously, if we're going 30 feet tall, that's another story. But anything in a moderate to shorter wall application, this is money.
Absolutely right, Cam. If you can eliminate some of that bracing in certain environments, it's a huge time saver. And along the same line, if you wanted to just see the single-sided, this is another more common single-sided wall application where, let's say you've got existing concrete and you're able to tie into it. Yep. These are a no-brainer. You just take that same transition tie and you can either epoxy or anchor right into the masonry or existing concrete wall. Yeah, that gets used in more commercial stuff or big slabs where you don't want to tie all the way across the slab or you don't want to kick it. And then also I guess the last thing to complete it is fiberglass ties. So these are basically loop ties that are just made purely out of fiberglass. And if you're worried about rust or
form liners or that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your fiberglass foam integration here.
So if you're doing a sandwich wall construction, it's usually in a place where you've got an exposed wall on both sides. And so they have nowhere to insulate. So you throw this insulated foam in between or in the center of your wall and pour concrete on either side. So this is a system from Thermomass that keeps the foam in place while you're pouring. And then it often gets used in conjunction with our fiberglass ties. And the reason for that is because this is usually architectural, they're worried about rust. It's a nice wall, you don't want to patch or be concerned about rust dripping down. And so the fiberglass tie will not rust.
So this tie is a Thermomass tie integrated with your guys' fiberglass ties.
Exactly, yep.
Big thank you to Payson here at Steel Dog for showing us around and all of your guys' great products. 2022 demo day, don't miss it. And Payson will be there with all of his great Steel Dog products. So we'll see you there.